So welcome. And this class is in response to what's going on in the world right now in every area of our lives. And this is to help stabilize your nervous system, to really deeply root to vitality. These are some skills that I've learned from the Feldenkrais method, from Ayurveda, and also from nature awareness. So I'm bringing everything I can to this class today. And I've asked you to find a flat chair or a bench to sit on, and we'll be working seated today. I'll talk about the next classes at the end of this class. But right now I'm going to move myself back so that you can see me seated more, and we'll get started. And actually, before I move back, I just want to talk a little bit about this class and how we're going to work with fear. How do we work with fear with the body? And this is really an important topic today. There's a lot of fear buzzing around, and fear has two main meanings. I looked this up. The first one is awareness of danger. And I really like that meaning because the first part of that meaning is awareness. And that when your body is feeling fear, and awareness is heightened. And that's a really important indicator to listen to. Another definition of fear is profound reverence and awe, especially toward God or the higher power or that invisible force that is the great mystery out there. So I love that definition of fear, is this profound reverence that life is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen next. It can be exciting that that's the way life is, and sometimes it's scary. And there's a lot of fear right now, and if you can kind of hold the balance of fear being an awareness of danger, but also a profound reverence and awe toward the great mystery, we might interact differently with our fear. And what does your body do when you go into fear? So the excitement aspect of fear that's pumping adrenaline, you probably are very familiar with these feelings. There's immediate contraction, fight or flight response, narrowing of vision. Your feet might get cold, circulation may be impaired, and breathing starts getting shallow. So I'm going to back up now, and we're going to start with the lesson of some of the physical tools. And we're going to start with working with the response to fear, the physical body response to fear, and how we can root ourselves to vitality, root yourselves to the earth. And we're going to be working in this series, particularly with the pelvis and the legs. And so the reason for the flat, now this is my table here, but you can use a chair or a bench that's fairly flat. And we're going to start, everybody, just rubbing your hands together. And I do this in a lot of my lessons online, my video lessons. And just pause for a moment. Of course, there's a little tingling already from doing that, but the hands connect the two sides of your brain. So as you rub your hands together, feel the two hands. Take an inhale. Exhale, and I want you to tap one heel while you rub your hands. Do it again. Inhale and tap the other heel. Okay, now place your hands on your thighs. Just breathe for a moment. So that tingling in the hands connects with your thighs, and now let's tap your heel. It's a little bit like connect the dots, right? Bone to bone. And with practice, as you see in many of my videos, you learn how to really do this in a quicker way of channeling your adrenaline into the ground, okay? And one of the teachers I studied with many years ago, Tom Brown Jr., who is an incredible badass tracker teacher and awareness of nature teacher, he would teach these long meditation practices that you could learn to do like that to ground yourself. And I always appreciated his perspective on this because animals have an ability to really turn on and, you know, fine tune their awareness just on a dime. And we are an animal. We have all these animal traits, all right? And as we really tune into our bodies, we'll be able to manage better when we're in an area where there's a lot of fear or anxiety, or when you're noticing your body has an excess of it, okay? All right, so let's come back to rubbing your hands and inhale. Now hold the breath and put your hands right in front of your heart and call your mind to come into where your hands are in your chest. Keep holding. Exhale and relax. Okay, let's try another version, all right? Another version is inhaling. So you're going to inhale, squeeze your fists, okay? Squeeze your fists and bring them right here under your rib cage. Hold it. Exhale and slide your hands down to your legs. Let yourself settle a little bit. Let's tap one heel, and your feet should be right underneath your knee. Like the heel should be under the knee as far as alignment goes. Okay, so tap the other heel. And then I'd like you to roll your pelvis a little bit. Just roll a little back and forth. Breathing. And then bring your hands again on top of your legs. Okay, so one more time, we're going to breathe in, make a fist, not as hard as you can, just gather with the inhale, and this time put your hands right above the pubic bone. Hold it. Exhale. Okay. And then let's roll the pelvis. And tap a heel. And then tap the other heel. So this is a really strong way to communicate to there's some nerve plexes around the heart, the diaphragm, the lower abdomen here that help us when we're scared. And we want to do is practice kind of opening and closing those places and allowing things to move down to the ground. Okay? It's kind of like flushing a toilet, and you're trying to jiggle it, and you know that's to make it stop running. But to get this gateway where the nerves can channel movement down to the ground. This is why the rooting is so important. Okay? And this is where nature helps us all the time, all the time. So just a quick story, the last couple of weeks I've been preparing for this class. I've been actually preparing for years for this class. And I was weeding just constantly. And partly it's nervous energy from what's going on in the environment right now. And weeding is incredibly grounding because you're in the roots, you know, pulling things up. I highly recommend it when you have stress. That's why baking is good. There's a lot of things that are helpful, you know, cleaning is helpful. But weeding, so I'm pulling out these roots, and I get this root that is so incredibly juicy, thick. It's from a buttercup plant. If you've ever weeded those, they have enormous root systems. And also the, what's the other, morning glory. Morning glory have these incredible, beautiful roots and just gnarly, invasive weeds. But I was in these vital weeds the last 2 weeks. And last night I recognized, oh my gosh, this nature awareness, you know, really seeping into my hands and body. And that feeling of those root systems, they have so much water and nutrients, okay? And our feet and legs want to connect to that juicy earth energy that can vitalize us rather than shutting it off. All right. So we're going to continue with some lessons now to wake up your nervous system and wake up these connections to the earth that is an enormous resource of vitality that we can draw into the body. And a lot of this is not so strict Feldenkrais work. This is coming from Ayurveda and nature awareness work. And it's so profound. It's so profound. Although Feldenkrais talked about the bones as these connectors, right? So what you're going to do next is you're going to take your fingertips, and it's particularly the middle finger, and reach to the edge of your sit bone. Okay? And you want to put the weight of your body on that edge of the sit bone and roll a little back and forth or side to side. And if you can't find it, just move around different places. You don't want it right under the sit bone, but to the edge of the sit bone. So you pin the fingertip with your butt. And move your hand around the periphery of the sit bone, and I have other videos with this. It's an important lesson. In the beginning of my practice, I taught this lesson to every client, and many of you who've worked with me know this lesson. So if you know this lesson, I want you to really see what you can feel, because I have done this thousands of times. Do I hold my breath? Can I feel my heel? Okay, so can you tap that heel and feel this bone while you feel the heel? So this is a connect the dot game, and it brings your mind powerfully inward into your body. If we're not fully in the body, it's kind of like bad Wi-Fi, you know? You just can't operate with your full vitality. So sensing your bones is a diagnostic tool. Now feel the difference with that sit bone compared to this one. I feel like I'm deeper into the table. Is that true for you? And can you feel now, if you touch the sit bone and the heel, can you maybe use this hand now and tap your heel? So you lean into the hand and tap your heel. And can you sense your foot? Okay. Sense your foot. Now come away, and can you feel the foot and the sit bone at the same time? I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I'm actually a little oriented to sit more now on this side from having done this. You can, even my shirt. Okay, let's try the other side. Take your hand and slide the tip of the finger so that your sitting bone is on that tip, and roll and go slowly. A lot of times when we have anxiety or fear, we move really fast. And breathing is one of those tools that can kind of calm us. Consciously breathing through your nose and exhaling as you feel the bone. So move that hand to the back. And again, those of you who've done this lesson before, I want you to add more to it now. Bring your hand onto your knee and tap your heel and see if you can feel the contact now. The connection between your sit bone, this knee, and the heel. It's a lot more advanced, and if that's too much for you, if this is the very first time you've done it, I recommend just do the hand, okay? One step at a time. All right. And then you can also come from the inside of your leg. The sit bone is it's not a round thing. It's actually like a rocker, but it feels round because of the way we sit on it. But you can find the sit bone from reaching your hand in. Okay, now feel the difference. Take a breath. So I just love that lesson. It's one of my go-to lessons for calming my nervous system, quickly rooting myself to the ground. All right. So we're going to do more with this, this lesson. I want you to start thinking, though, that your body is this, it's like an antenna. It's constantly getting information from the environment, processing it. And a lot of times now we're so inundated with information, especially if you're listening to a lot of news, it's a bit overwhelming. And so how to have boundaries with all of this energy, okay? Because our thoughts get sort of compacted with all this stimulation. So your body can become a real safe haven, the harbor, literally the harbor to turn to in times of high anxiety. And that's why I'm so, motivated to share all this work with you, because there's a lot of really good tools that I can give you here. Okay, so can you feel that sit bone? Now, if you can't, if it's still fuzzy, just keep coming back and playing a little bit more. Do it maybe 3 or 4 times of rolling. And I'm pointing this way because that's where the hip joint is. And my sit bone is right underneath where my finger's pointing. All right. And then let's add the knee to it. So you put weight on your knee. Everybody now try it with putting weight on the knee. Move your knee a little bit so you can feel the heel. And then let's come back. Now, notice, can you feel there's a flow happening that's going down to the ground? It's subtle. This is subtle. You may not feel it yet, but give it time. If you play with this lesson a few more times, do the recording, you'll find you'll start to feel this flow. So there's a downward flow, and then there's an upward flow that happens, okay? And with the upward flow, we're going to tap one of your heels, and if you can, take your foot, I'm gonna take off my slipper here, and just massage your foot for a moment so that you can feel the arch of your foot. I want you to press right into this region. And keep doing that. You can massage circles or pressing all around this region. This is called the bubbling springs. And in Chinese medicine, and actually in Western medicine too, this is a reflex point for lymphatic system, our system that allows water to move up and down all the tissues in the body. This helps this function. So the arch of your foot is a wonderful place for that connection to the ground. And a lot of times when we're scared, we kind of do this with our feet, and by just a little bit of massaging in there, try to even see, can you find the bones in there? There's a lot of tissue, but pressing into the bones, it might be tender. All right, let's do the other foot. So you're going to press into this arch of your foot with your fingers and take some breaths this time. Let's inhale, exhale. And feel the bones in there. This is good to do every day. If you do it in the morning or do it at night, it'll really help the flow of things moving out energetically and energy coming in. Okay, and maybe just a little bit of moving. Okay, so that's the bubbling springs point. Now I want you to put a little weight on your hands and tap your heel and see, does it feel airier at the bottom of your feet now? It's pretty amazing, just that little bit, okay? The more you tune in with feeling as you do things, a lot of these daily rituals, putting on moisturizer, showering, the more you start really feeling your body, you can come home, come in. Try to quiet your mind as you do these daily things. Getting dressed. Think of getting dressed as an opportunity to kind of provide this protective layering over you that holds you in, keeps your energy in. It's a wonderful thing. All right. Now, let's come back and see how you feel so far with your sitting bones, your knees, and the heels. Okay, now, I've been talking a lot about heels. That's because they take the brunt of the weight of the body. That's why they're the biggest bone in your foot. They're designed to carry the weight. Your toes are like the navigators, and they help with balance. So if we have too much weight in the front of the feet, it makes a lot of work for the muscles in your lower leg. So this kind of sinking back into your pelvis, feeling your weight right on top of your heel, will be much more relaxing than that being on your toes feeling, where we're kind of waiting for danger. That's kind of exhausting. So we want to have a more neutral feeling. So as you rock forward and back, I'm going to have you tap your heel and rock forward and back, and see, can you stay relaxed in your foot instead of kind of gripping like this? Can you breathe and tap your heel? And this is amazingly calming. Simple. Okay, do it slowly. Let's maybe tap slower. That's it. Now, see if you can tap faster without tensing your stomach or getting onto the balls of your feet. Can you stay relaxed? And this helps with Achilles tendon issues as well, by the way. Let's try the other side. You're going to tap your heel while you lean forward, breathing. This is harder than it sounds, really. And lean forward. Put a little weight on this hand. Now stay there for a second. I want you to tap your toe. Tap your toes. Now tap your heels. Tap your toes. Tap your heels. Now we're going to do something really goofy. Yes, we're going to alternate 2 of heels, 2 of toes while you go forward and back. Simple, but not so easy to stay relaxed. Don't hold your breath. Okay, so concentrate, breathing, take a few deep breaths as you lean forward, tapping with the heel and tapping with the forefoot as you roll forward and back. Tap, tap, heel, tap, tap, toe. You might be at a different timing, so I'm not going to say any more of that, but stop. Woo. Take a breath. Notice the difference now on that side. Pretty amazing for me, and hopefully you can feel a little bit. Let's try the other side. So you're going to tap your heel while you put weight on the hand. So there's a little bit of your upper body weight there. Keep your back long. You're pivoting from this place, which is your hip joint, okay? So as you come forward, keep your back straight, and you have some weight in the heel. Let's tap forward and tap back just with the heel right now. Let's do it a little differently on this side. Tap and come back. Now tap with just the ball of the foot as you go forward. And see if you can stay light with the ball of the foot. Stay light, keep the weight in the heel. Tap. I think of a cat, how light they are on their feet. Okay, now 2 taps the heel and 2 taps of the forefoot as you lean forward. Okay, so you can practice this at home. You can practice this anywhere in public. It isn't that goofy looking. So leaning forward, keep breathing. And you want to really feel that sit bone now as you do this. Now this, by the way, really helps walking, helps your balance, helps the ease in your ankles. Those of you out there who have knee issues, this is a fabulous little lesson to relax your lower leg and knees, and feel the connection as you go now. Lean forward and back. Doesn't it feel nicer in your hips now? Yeah. All right, to finish, we're just about done. We have just a couple minutes. We're going to do an Ayurvedic meditation practice that I'd like to do every class. So I want you to imagine you have a life force field, your electrical field of the body, the field that makes us alive. We want that field not to be way out. We want it to be about 6 inches away from us. So I want you to imagine gathering your field close to you in your mind. Gather it close. You can even take your hands and kind of move them around the space of your field. It's like your vitality suit, okay? It's your field. And in this time right now, we really want to be in our field, and life will be so much simpler. So I want you to just move your hands around this field area of your body so you really get to know it, and you smooth it out. You smooth out your field and feel your feet now. You could tap a heel. See if this is calming for you. I find this incredibly calming. And then I'd like you to rub your belly, and you want to look down. It's 6 o'clock. Go to your left, go to your pelvis, go to your right, come up to your stomach. So that is what I call a clockwise circle. If you're looking down, it's a clockwise circle. So this movement is very calming, and it also collects our power and energy into our gut so that we can really trust our gut. Okay, so you finish by storing all of this great vital energy of yours in your own belly. And then let's place your hands on your knees, and I'd like you to imagine this white or blue light moving straight through and over this vital shield and cleaning your vitality, just like cleaning you, giving you a vital bath. So this divine light or blue light or whatever you want to have it be, a waterfall, imagine just flowing from above down and clearing all the way through your feet, through the bubbling springs. Inhale and exhale. And there's a lightness that comes with this of just shedding any thoughts, feelings, anything that's not serving you for your highest good, okay? So we really want to clear the field around us and in us. And you can do that many times during the day. All right, so that concludes our first lesson. I have 3 more to come. I want to say quickly that the next lesson, if you can find a rock that's about something you can fit in your hand, that would be great. We may or may not use that next lesson, but see if you can find one. The other thing to have for next lesson for sure is a blanket roll, okay? So you want a blanket roll. This is a little bit big. You can have it a little smaller. Play with the diameter of it. I have lessons on my YouTube about blanket rolls, but be sure to have a blanket roll with you next time. See you next week.
All right.